So it's pretty obvious that we're getting a new event in my team, guys, and I want to make sure that you're ready and like the video right now if you want this new event to be the best one of the year. And let me know down below in the comments what you think about the events, because I do have a feeling that 2K is going to be adding GOATS cards, Invincibles, of course, 100 overall players for the new events. And of course, I do want to hear your thoughts when it comes to these events themselves, because we did start with Dia de los Muertos with P9 and Shea. He just won MVP, by the way, so a big shout out to SGA. You know, he got the MVP award. We did, of course, also have the Winter Festival with Dark Matter Shaq. We had some really good cards as well, like Franz, you know, Kawhi. We did also have the All-Star Festival with all these players, including Magical Johnson. The first 100 overall card with Vince Carter. That's why I'm telling you, I think we're going to be seeing a GOATS card. And so now's a good time to get that MT ready, sell some players and stuff like that. We did also have the Bracket Busters Festival, which this one just introduced more 100 overall players, more festival stuff. And then also we had the Signature Series Festival, which introduced the first Invincible card of the year with the Invincible Kevin Durant. See what I'm saying? Yeah, we're getting a GOATS card for sure. And then also we did have the Glitch Festival with more 100 overall players, Invincibles, and basically a lot of stuff, right? Now, when it comes to these festivals, 2K at this point, it's very obvious that they just kind of started adding a ton of them, because we did have the Bracket Busters Festival. This is really when 2K started releasing them more often. Then we had Season 6, and then right after Season 6, actually the first week of, you know, Season 6, they basically went into week 2 with the new events with Invincible Kevin Durant. And then just when you thought it wouldn't get crazier, 2K introduced the glitched one, literally like in the same season. So by the looks of it, it looks like we are starting to get about 2 events per season. So that means that, you know, with this season, obviously, Season 7 being introduced already, we're looking to see another event. That's why I want to make sure that you guys are ready. And I did say that I am expecting a GOATS card, right? Now, of course, everybody would love to see maybe Kobe Bryant, right? Like, tell me right now, comments, I want Kobe. Like, 2K needs to find a way to add him back in my team, because I do feel like with the playoffs, the champions, and everything basically is the postseason, it would make a lot of sense for 2K to add, you know, champions. And Kobe would be great, so, you know, I would love to see that, but it's not going to happen. So we got to settle for the second, you know, the second best, I guess. And that, of course, is Michael Jordan. I definitely do see MJ being one of the new GOAT cards. Of course, we do have GOATS Tatum, but that's for, like, the rep rewards. Michael Jordan just makes sense for this event because he's the champion, right? 6. He never lost in the finals. So I definitely do see Michael Jordan being one of the GOAT cards we do get soon. And then also another player, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I just feel like it kind of makes sense too, because he also has a lot of championships, you know, same as Michael Jordan. So I could definitely see GOATS Kareem also being one of the GOAT cards that 2K could release, mainly because we haven't really seen, you know, a new Kareem in a minute. You know, if we were to take a look at the collection, you know, Kareem right now does only have a Dark Matter card. So I just feel like it makes sense. You know, he was the first 100 overall player last year. So I could definitely see them doing Kareem and Michael Jordan. Maybe they could save one for like packs, you know what I'm saying? Because Michael Jordan right here, you know, he does have a 100 overall card, but unfortunately I don't have that one. I do have the Dark Matter one. He was actually the first Dark Matter this year, so, you know, he could definitely be the first GOATS card as well. I just feel like it kind of makes sense. And another player that I feel like is also coming is going to be Magic Johnson. Now, I think he's going to be in packs because he was already in one of the previous events. So I definitely do see 2K releasing maybe an Invincible, maybe, you know, a nice little 100, even though I think it's going to be an Invincible at the bare minimum. You know, a big shout out to everybody on 2KDB making these beautiful cards. And so I definitely do see Magic Johnson being in packs, you know, with the new festival. You know, they could also do the GOATS Magic Johnson. They could definitely do that. You know, he's very positive, but I am positive. Well, not like Magic, but I'm very positive we are going to be seeing GOAT cards. And now, obviously, when it comes to these events, as I always tell you guys, super expensive players, especially the ones that you've seen me get. And so when it comes to the GOAT players, they definitely will be super expensive. But I'm excited to see, like, what they do for the lower tier cards. Because if we do get the GOAT players, then, you know, Invincibles will get hopefully cheaper in terms of, like, you know, accessibility. You know, same with, like, 100 overall players. You know, we have seen some really good Dark Matters like Josh Giddey. So, you know, they can definitely start giving us some free 100 overall players within those events. And hopefully they do bring back the MT method that we had. I do believe it was the All-Star one, right? Yeah, I think it was this one. People were making millions of MT. And so with 2K, obviously, most likely releasing GOATS cards, the lower tier cards should get better, and we should be able to get some of them for free by doing the agendas, because something that 2K did change around the, you know, this event right here, the signature one, basically they added agendas and challenges to where we actually got pieces to get rewards. And so people were able to get a free Dark Matter Josh Giddey. People were able to get some free Dark Matters. I think this one had Wiggins and stuff like that. So that's something to look forward to, obviously, even though, of course, the top tier cards are always going to be super expensive. That's just kind of like what 2K has been doing, you know, the whole year. Even back when, you know, they introduced SGA, you know, he was super expensive. Jaime was a really good free card. And so that goes to show you that even though the GO cards, they definitely should be accessible, but that's just kind of like how 2K is doing events. I'm just really hoping they bring back a lot of MT methods. They just got to bring it back how it was during the All-Star events. A lot of people are making MT, and hopefully the 100 overall players and stuff like that, you know, hopefully they do go crazy. Something also that I'm hoping we see is, you know, locker codes. You guys know me, man. Locker codes, like, can we get some new locker codes, 2K? Come on. And now, for those that don't know, Memorial Day is this Monday, so, you know, maybe a locker code for that, even though this is also one of the reasons why I think 2K is going to be adding the events because of Memorial Weekend. And another player that I really wouldn't be surprised if we do see is going to be, of course, the Admiral up in here. I definitely do see a David Robinson just because it definitely would make sense. He was in the Navy, that's why, you know, the Admiral and stuff like that. So when it comes to David Robinson, just like Kareem, he does only have the Dark Matter card right now. So I definitely do see him getting a whole new card just because, you know, it would definitely make sense, especially with everything that's been going on. You know, so David Robinson, I could definitely see him being an Invincible. Not a GOATS card, but an Invincible would definitely make a lot of sense. Another player that I feel like would make a lot of sense would also be Hakeem the Dream up in here, because I feel like he's long overdue. You know, someone made a beautiful card expecting him to be like a Season 8 reward, which Season 8's maybe Kobe in Season 8, that'd be crazy. But Hakeem Olajuwon right here, I can definitely see, you know, him and David Robinson potentially being in the festival or in the packs, because when we get a festival, we always get packs too. So Hakeem also just only has a Dark Matter card. So I can definitely see him being a 100 overall, an Invincible, a GOATS card and stuff like that. Now, when it comes to GOAT cards with 2K, you know, most likely introducing them, hopefully we see like some free 100 overall players within the festival, right? Now, I do feel like 2K is going to cheese us and give us a Bobo too. I think he's just long overdue for his, you know, broken summer card. Around this time, we start seeing the Bobos, you know, the crazy stuff, the tacos. I definitely do see a taco also coming with the events. I just feel like it definitely would make sense too, just taco fall. You know, they didn't make him as overpowered, you know, this year. So I feel like they've just kind of been waiting and just patiently been like, you know, dropping the Wembies, you know, the Shaqs that can shoot three-pointers. So I definitely do see, you know, those cards coming out. So not only could we see Hakeem, right? But David Robinson, but again, Taco. Taco just makes sense. I think they'll probably make him a 100. They could definitely make him a Dark Matter. That's something they could definitely do, you know, as well when it comes to that. And like I said, if you've been playing 2K long enough, you know the cheese is basically in the summer, which is always one of the best times to start playing the game because a lot of the higher tier cards become more accessible. Obviously, the GO cards will still be hard to get, super expensive. But I am excited for the new events. Obviously, as soon as 2K reveals it, I'll be uploading more videos. In the meantime, though, check out the pack opening, check out the gameplay, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.